Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do was I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about Drizzle Drizzle. It's soft guy air. Apparently this thing has been trending everywhere, right? But it was funny when I started seeing it come across my YouTube feed, because I don't be on TikTok. I heard that's where it started trending at. I'm on TikTok, but they they put me under so many bans that I just stopped posting up there because I didn't want them to take my channel away from over there so people could still find me. But this Drizzle Drizzle thing, man, it's been like a mockery to the Miss Sprinkle Sprinkle being, who has been putting out these over-the-top notions about what women should be doing and receiving and what men should be doing and receiving. And they was really far out there. But this Drizzle Drizzle, man, I know it started off as a parody, and it was kind of funny seeing some of the guys do it. But diving deep, right? Because I got a few giggles out of it. Once I start diving deep into the soft guy era, for one, I realized they're feminizing the men by calling it soft guy era, right? Because we know men are supposed to be hard and we're supposed to be more masculine. But when I took this soft guy era and I swapped it around into my real life experiences, a lot of things that these soft guys that they're calling soft guys, you know, this Drizzle Drizzle thing, some of us have already been getting this treatment for a long time already. It's just certain other men don't qualify for that kind of treatment. You know, when you talking about having someone, you know, pay for this, pay for that, you know, somebody that's in more of a nurturing, catering role, you know, somebody that don't mind, like, you pour into them, they pour into you kind of thing. This has always been a way of my life. I've always been the provider, but as far as like when a main female comes into my life, you know, because I haven't always followed the girlfriend titles. So they wasn't my girlfriend, but we were still kind of established. I would just say that's my main person. And it's hilarious seeing like a lot of guys who's never understood or received that kind of treatment. Like, even growing up, I understood that men and women, we all have different levels, right? Once you understand your what the term they use now is sexual market value. Once you understand your looks category and where you kind of stand at, you know the kind of ranges of things that you can go up to the door and you could possibly get in there. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I just always use me as an example because it's just easier, right? So let's just say like somebody said, oh, Trak, you a 4. That's low as shit, right? But in my world, if I envisioned myself as a 4, I would understand, okay, I'm out at the store, I'm bumping across people, I see some pretty women, some gorgeous women. I'm perceiving them as 7, 8s, 9s, 10s. If I've already held on to that conception, then I would automatically assume they're out of my league. So I wouldn't even try to approach them or do anything with them. But we also got the opposite around as far as females who are, as far as, we're speaking from the physical standpoint first, and then we'll get to the spiritual part, because you know we dive deep over here. But one thing about us over here, we understand we're in this reality. I wouldn't be using this camera, looking at this grass, this water and stuff if we wasn't in this realm of reality. So you got to understand all levels of it. It's the same thing with women. It's some women who understand, okay, I'm a 4 or 5, and this guy, I perceive him as a 7, 8, 9, or 10, whatever it is. You know, you just perceive their number higher than yours. So then these ones tend to do a little bit more extra in order to be in your vibration, your energy, or to work their witchy tactics. You know, some of these witches understand, all right, my box isn't enough. I'm gonna have to use some other angles in order to rail him in, so that way I can kind of control his vibration and frequency. See, this whole drizzle drizzle, I don't like saying the soft guy era. I like the drizzle drizzle. The drizzle drizzle is saucy, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how you perceive it or take it. But we in a day and age now to where all of these unobtainable standards are way up here. I have seen so many male associates, I wouldn't say settling in a situation, because they wasn't even vibrating at their highest position, but as far as if we talking about outside perspectives, on the shallow form, these guys could have been had something a little bit better as far as exterior wise. Interior wise, we're not speaking on that right now, but exterior wise, they definitely could have. But I know some of that stuff stems down to like our own insecurities, our courage, and all of these things that go hand in hand, right? But society is so crazy in the Western world right now to where if you're a man, right, and you don't meet the 3, 4, 5, 6 sixes, whatever it is, you basically invisible to the opposite sex. And if you're a man who don't have any children that want to reproduce and have a legacy behind, you have to figure out what you're gonna do with this witchy process out here. If you're going to conform to these standards over here, or if you're gonna work on creating a new narrative over here and then figuring out another way to add the sauce in there. But a lot of men do want to reproduce. It's not, everything is 50-50. I don't like when they say women control sex, men control relationships. It's 50-50 all the way around the board. Because even if men control relationships, right, I still have to get down on one knee if I follow those standards. Or either way, I have to still propose to you and you still have the option of saying no. So when you in this realm and all of this knowledge and information is being pumped to you, you gotta understand, like, they're saying it with conviction, but it has no real validity to it. I have never been able to force a relationship with a female that didn't want one. And usually 10 times out of 10 it's the other way around, but I feel like that's just naturally how it flows already anyways. You know, that's a toss up in the air. I wasn't trying to dive into that space. But understanding these things, right? Drizzle Drizzle is an exaggerated form of women who are no longer in their nurturing state. Women have transitioned the narrative. And I'm not saying men haven't transitioned. Men are men in Western society and overseas. You know, it wouldn't be a thing if passport bros wouldn't be a thing if there wasn't a different ideology overseas. You know what I mean? So if all the women overseas also thought the way Western women did, then men wouldn't be traveling overseas to get something more in their natural state. See, Western women they understand they're receivers. You know, men are givers, natural by our genetical makeup. You know what I mean? We give. Women are receivers by their genetic makeup build. But we all give and receive. We all give and receive. But the drizzle drizzle wouldn't even be a real thing if women didn't have all these weird demands. For one, you got some men who just, their mom and dad genetics just didn't make them to the standards of society. So now you automatically eliminate these men. Then the men who don't have tall parents or tall relatives that's not 6 feet or higher, you eliminate them out the process. You know, you can be fit without having abs. That's a weird one, but to each his own, you know what I mean? And then it's like you gotta have 6 inches downstairs at your sacrum. But it's like, this is how you know that it's been a lot of sexual energy exchange and a lot of partners. Like, why would the size matter if you haven't been out here exploring every sausage possible? You know what I mean? Because some of the females, the real women that I've ran across or know in life, you know, not in my personal space like this, but come across, it's just like 6 inches down there doesn't really make a huge difference, because usually if you're following natural law, you don't even engage into those behaviors until later on down the line. But because this society is pretty fucking disgusting, now you got this competition with all these other poles that done been in this world. Oh, you gotta be 6 inches. It's like, you're not 6 feet tall, you're not 6 inches, you don't got 6-pack, and you don't got 6 figures. Most men don't have 6 figures. And what's mind-blowing about this, right? Drizzle Drizzle. I got a lot of Spanish community around me. None of them Spanish men are taller than me. But all of those Spanish men have a Spanish woman. And they all just happen to be taller than their Spanish woman. In my eyes, if you looking for someone who's, say, all right, let me rephrase this. A lot of females are looking for 6 foot tall men because their mom is tall and their dad is tall, and it made them a tall ass fucking female. So now most women in Western society are 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". They're right there around that average male height. So I can understand, you know, that you don't want to be, you want somebody a little bit taller than you. I can understand that. But you look at the Spanish culture, all of them are short, but the man is still always taller than the female. And they all still have relationships. You don't see a whole lot of domestic disputes in the Spanish company. I said company, in their neighborings. But we all know that they still get in the mess. I'm not saying that they don't. Once they start drinking, oh, el pollo loco, you know. These things, you can look at some of these cultures and see where us Westerners have been just thrown into this cesspool and got completely lost. Like, if you're a female and you 5'2", you don't need nobody that's 6 foot tall. That don't make any sense. They're towering over you. You only need somebody that's 5'4", 5'5". This 5'5" guy is still 3 inches taller than you. They talking about, oh, when I put my heels on, fuck them heels. Why aren't you building for your family and you focused on being prissy and doing these things? Like, society is different right now. You know, how many locations do you go to a day that you need to wear heels? I know some women just wear heels every day. I'm not talking about those women. Them women don't believe in sneakers. You know, they do flats and they do heels. Completely understandable. My mom was that way for a very, very, very long time. You know what I mean? But that is a huge difference in somebody who wears heels once or twice out the month, and they're basing their man off of their 1-2 times a month that they wear. Oh yeah, twice a month I like to wear heels. And when I wear these heels twice a month, you gotta be taller than me. Then you gotta have the 6 figures, right? But most women ain't even making 6 figures, but they want a man with 6 figures. And they say this because they're seeing another form of living, and this is the way that they are choosing to want to live to somebody else's standards. You're seeing social media and everything else going on. You're like, oh, I don't want to struggle. Struggle is a part of life, baby. That is a part of life. There is no getting around it. Most people are out of shape. That's part of the process. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are you going to do different about it? You can have these 6 figures, but then you still got to get your health together. Your health is falling apart because you were so busy worried about finances. It's weird to me that we got so many plus-size women, and then every time I go on, if I happen to click on a Snapchat story or Instagram story, because I never usually do, it's a female showing their food and what they're eating. It's like, damn, how about you do something different besides eating? Drizzle Drizzle, you know what I mean? If I don't know you, I'm not gonna go up to some random stranger in a store because I think she pretty cute or something like that and just start throwing money at her and paying for her stuff. So why would I do that on a first date and I don't even know you? Oh, man is supposed to provide and supposed to do this. Drizzle drizzle. You know what I mean? Like, if you ain't in my personal space and we ain't building to grow anything, we gonna drop some more drizzle drizzle on your ass. Like, you had no intentions of doing anything with me long term. This is just an engagement for us to see, you know. For me, it's to see what team you on and if you want to get with my program. It's that simple. I'm a man, I'm a male, I'm a leader. So these are the things that I'm always looking into. And there's other things that I do look into when I'm engaging with people, you know, for the first and second times. But you don't have a choice but to drizzle drizzle on it, because that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Most men, when they are in struggling phases in their life, you know, and they're building, I'm talking about building, not the men who just struggling because they enjoy struggling. Like, they just, you know what? Today is one of those days again. Then next week, today is that day again. Then next week, today. Nah. We're not talking about those. We talking about the men who are on purpose and grinding as I am. You know, they probably just doing it from a different field and different angle. Like, if somebody isn't willing to struggle through this grind and this process with me, why would they think or process, okay, when I get to the finish line, I'm gonna want to with you then? We didn't establish anything. And I don't want to have to fight this process of, oh damn, they just using me. You know, if you're not connected with source, that's automatically gonna be the first thing there, which is gonna disqualify you. Drizzle. Man, the whole process is mind-blowing, right? And I know it all started as a fun parody, but it has a lot of facts into it in comparison with, you know, how the women choose and tend to operate out here. Every woman out here can have a man. She just only wants a certain type of man. I have never met one female that could not get a man. It's just they don't want that man that they can get, that wants them. That's a big difference. Huge difference. Women be like, oh, I can't find no man, I can't. Yes. You're just ignorant and you're looking past a lot of men. Or you in the wrong space and you got too many witchy men around. Too many witchy men, which you're going to be able to tell by their connection with source as soon as you start engaging with them. You know, it's crazy that women would choose their men based off of the same criteria that men choose women on. Like, you need a protector and provider, you need a leader. You know, men usually are really good with discipline, establishing order. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of things that come into that bunch that just gets brushed over and looked over. Like, we naturally suicide bombers. You know what I mean? So why do we want to put ourselves in compromisable positions with beings who don't really give a fuck about us? You know what I mean? They all talking about hypergamy, always get the best of other women. Fuck out of here. Drizzle. It was plenty of loyal, honest women that only rode with their husbands and their person. Back in the old day, people get locked. They would still be riding these long bids out with their man. Let you get locked up now and have a person. I guarantee you she on to the next pole. Oh, I can't do this. I get lonely. You should have never got in trouble. It's kind of like, but you didn't have a problem with me risking it and bringing that money back to the house and using it for these bills and using it to spend on you and the family and to build and do all these things. You know what I mean? You understood the risk that was on the table. You understood these things. You know what I mean? It's like men, we're supposed to struggle, and then women are supposed to figure out how to find a man to put them in position so they don't have to, quote unquote, struggle. It's like, why it's like a bunch of dumbasses out here. We are in modern day slavery. Everybody is fucking struggling. The people who don't have the money, struggling with finances. The people who do got money are struggling with their health and all their other interpersonal battles that they have going on. It's like, I'd rather struggle with money and be in good health than have shitty health and have a lot of money. Because then I'm going to be spending most of that money that I have to figure out, oh, I got to get my health together. I got to fly over here. I got to fly over there. I got to see what's going on with these opioid meds. I got to see what's going on with these natural products over here. Like, you're going to have to use that expense and those resources in order to compensate for not having good health. You know what I mean? All of these things play a huge factor. Six-pack abs, that's understandable. You know, you just want a man that's fit and in shape. You know, I know that he can protect you on the spot. That's kind of obvious. I think men, we all are in competition anyway, so for most of us, we understand that. But what happens is a lot of males are extremely soft. I seen one clip where this woman was arguing with this dude in front of their car, and then the girl went to slap the dude. But the girl boyfriend was right there. But when the girl went and slapped the dude blocked it. He punched her. Mop. She fell down to the ground, and he went to throw like a couple more punches at her. The boyfriend literally just stood here like he didn't see it. Then he turned around, picked up his phone, pretend like he was calling somebody, and then putting a pretend hand in the way to block the guy from not beating down his partner anymore. See, a lot of women are so concerned with finances, and I don't want to struggle, that you end up with a weak-ass man anyways. Don't make a difference. You're like, oh, he got money. Yeah, but he ain't going to protect you. He ain't going to protect you. People like, well, if you got money, you can get protection. No. Y'all go to a restaurant, he cannot pay somebody fast enough to defend you. He cannot pay somebody fast enough to defend you on the spot. He cannot. That's why it's a lot of weird, weak-ass men in these positions with females that would never get that time of day if there was no system in place. Because they wouldn't stand solid up against other real men. I agree with the Drizzle Drizzle. I wouldn't call it soft guy era, you know what I mean? But I agree with the Drizzle Drizzle to the real men. You know what I mean? The real men. All my partners that I dealt with, they brought the bag to the table with them. If I needed their credit for something, they ain't had no problem. Here you go. You know, all of these, they was meeting me. They was pouring into me, and I was pouring into them. It was mutual. Now, to the contrary, some of them may have wanted a little bit more at certain times, and I wasn't quite there yet. So I have to excuse myself for that part. But as far as like going about this process, you have to bring something to the table. Especially if you want a real man to support and provide and protect you. Protection isn't just physical, protection is spiritual too. You know what I mean? If I'm willing to let you go out the house with me dressed like a whore, and then some guy tries you or tries me, I don't have no choice but to step into the situation. I don't have a choice. I could have made an easy adjustment by saying, hey, change the outfit. You know, I don't want to have to shoot somebody or beat somebody with these beaters today. You know what I mean? And it's like, fortunately for me, I cannot speak for everybody. Whether I had somebody dressed conservative or like a whore, I didn't have those issues with people, males, trying me or trying my person. You know what I mean? And that's just for me. I know everybody isn't born with 6 fingers. You know what I mean? That is a smaller percentage. Because I've been around a lot of spaces where men do get tried. And they just sitting there watching. I had some of my buddies get tried. And it's like, bro, if you ain't gonna stand up for yours, I damn sure ain't standing up for you and yours. Y'all just gonna have to eat that. But I've had other female friends. We all just used to party together back in the day from high school. Outside of high school, it all just transitioned. Group of girls, group of guys. You know, it was like one of those weird groups where like some of the friends was like engaging with each other sexually. Other friends wasn't. We was all cool with like meeting other people through people and at clubs and bars and stuff. But one of my female friends, we was leaving a bar one night and we had went by Sheets to get some food and stuff. A whole brawl broke out behind her because 2 guys decided to say some weird shit to her and she wasn't feeling it. When she wasn't feeling it and we peeped the vibes, we went straight over and checked the dudes. Fortunately, these niggas wanted smoke, and we handled all that smoke out there that day. It was a big old brawl out there. It was probably like at least 15 people fighting at the minimum. Like ambulances, police, everybody came out there. One dude got left, he got picked up on the ambulance. Like, that wasn't our intentions though. We was out just, you know, the guys, we was all chilling, laughing. We found some other females we was flirting with in the inside. We came outside, one of our female friends was getting hassled by some other guys that they didn't want to be hassled with. It's 2:30 a.m. You know what I mean? We already know what time it is around those hours. So that's when we have to step up in the position, because we kind of cared about them. They was our female friends. We wasn't sexually engaged with them, but we always all hung out and mingled like 2-3 times out the week. That was like my party phases and stages back then. You know what I mean? Drizzle drizzle. If you aren't aware of these things, you know what I mean, it will shift your whole perspective within. The spiritual meaning behind this whole sprinkle, sprinkle, drizzle, drizzle, right? Sprinkle, sprinkle is these modern witches figuring out how to finesse men publicly. Most of these females that's saying, oh, I'm a princess and I'm this and I'm that, they aren't nurturing females. They aren't going to be great mothers or good mothers. They aren't going to be, you know, an asset to, you know, your life. They aren't going to be any of these things. These are the ones who just, you know, they just enjoy their witchery and their sorcery to the full extent. You know, I've had females meet me out here and they'll still engage with me and bump heads and clash with me like this. And it's like, bitch, you came to my space. I didn't go out seeking you or sought you. You came into my space. I got over 800 videos where you could tap in and see what kind of being I am. Right now, it's just mostly me and the camera, but I started off engaging with other people. I got a whole BCBA, me engaging with the basketball team, everybody that's out there. I have a whole Godcast with like a rack of episodes with me. Got 2 co-hosts. I got different guests coming in and out. Like, it's no reason to be doing that other than, okay, this is the new modern day witch, and because there's no consequences for this witchery and this sorcery, they can just get out here and do what they do with no shame. It's like, I would never teach my daughter to act some strange. You going on a date and expecting a man to spend 500-600 bands on you is like me telling my daughter, hey, you see that stranger in the store? Go ask him for this, see if he can buy you this laptop. I know it's only $800, but you know, just go see if they can buy it for you. It sounds fucking ridiculous. Like, you gotta start shaming people. This is a shameless society for the demonic witchery and sorcery that's going on. But let you be moving more righteous and more godly, they are going to shame and blame you, belittle you and beat you down to the ground. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, who does that? Who does that? Everybody already knew what it was like growing up and you had that one girl in your school. They'd be like, oh, she's a prude. She's a prude. She's a prude. She really just ain't on demon time. You know what I mean? And it took me a long time to understand that perspective. I had to do some deep diving back into my past in order to understand, okay, what kind of women was I engaging, or females was I engaging with when I was in high school? What kind of females was I avoiding in high school, you know? And in high school, it was, you know, all the prudes we kind of stayed away from. That's from following mainstream society and our peers, you know what I mean? When actually these ones have better principles, morals, and values than the ones we was out here mingling with, you know? So just understanding these concepts with this whole drizzle, drizzle, you know, sprinkle, sprinkle thing, like it's a lot of people that's disconnected, and they are working this witchery and sorcery at all levels possible, you know what I mean? And until you understand what's actually happening and what's going on, you know, most men are undervalued. Most godly men shouldn't be getting the same treatment as these demonic witchy men. But we do. You know, and we take it on the chin and we keep going and we keep vibing and we keep pushing forward and pushing through. You know what I mean? But y'all, it should have been obvious that some kind of shift was going to happen. You know, most of us righteous men already started eliminating a lot of the women that we was engaging with in our life already anyways. Because once you already been through this round and loop of having all these partners and having rosters and all this shit, that shit take up too much time and energy. I used to do that when I was young, and I realized the only reason why I would get caught up because it's just too much to remember. Like, it was to the point to where I didn't even like calling females by their name to a certain degree, because it was just easier to not mix this person up with that person if I never called them by their name. If I just had like a nickname or something that I had used, it's too much, and it's extremely difficult to balance, especially when you don't have life and everything else organized. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of these gurus out here telling people, oh, you always gotta have a roster, you always gotta have this one, you can replace this and replace that. It's like, when you get a real divine femme, you ain't gonna be able to replace that easy. Just like if you get a real divine masculine man, you ain't gonna be able to replace that easy. I still got females coming back, knocking at the door, seeing what's going on. You know, and I guess they be surprised that I be responding, but for me, I don't give a fuck whether I respond or don't respond. It doesn't change the fact that you done played the wrong card. I could never go back down that avenue with you again. It's really that simple. You know what I mean? Drizzle drizzle. You know what I mean? I had somebody else ask me, oh, hey, can I get my back rubbed today? I want to get my back rubbed. I'm like, shit, you think I don't want my back rubbed? You think I'm not out here busting my ass and this is what I want to do? I give mutual energy, but as far as initiatively, you haven't shown your nurture. So you should be already offering to do these things to add more peace. Because men, we should naturally be creating our own peaceful environment, and then the women are supposed to add to it. You know what I mean? And it's no different than the opposite side of the spectrum. Women already should be in their own peaceful state, and the man is going to come in and elevate it. Women elevate men too. We're not going to take away from that, because we all know that if a woman can destroy you and sabotage your life, you already know the right woman is going to build you through the roof. I don't mean build you, I mean co-pilot with you. You know what I mean? It's always the main pilot, but then you need the co-pilot to do certain things for you. You know what I'm saying? And make the flight easier, safer, and smoother. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games until people actually start damaging themselves more and then believing in these delusions that's going on out here. Men, y'all crazy to be going on. If you're gonna go on a date with somebody and spend bands and bands and hundreds of dollars, you might as well just buy females items when you see them in the grocery store, when you see them at Target, Walmart. You know, shit, hell, won't you just go to a beauty supply store and just start buying females all the products that they want in there? If you a boss bitch, what they call boss lady, bossy boss, why the fuck do you need a man to pay for you? This is where I be getting mind blown at. It'd be like, yeah, I could take care of myself, I could do this. Why don't you pay for it? You just said you and your boss girl era, you could take care of everything yourself. But then you want you want me to, I'm like, nah. This not gonna work. If you're not my main person and you're not building to be on my team or my program, I'm not doing none of that. I'ma treat you like a equal. You said you wanted equality, right? So then I'll treat you like an equal. Cause most men, we already perceive women, not saying you guys are, the weaker sex. So we're always looking to save you, to help you, to provide for you. Like, we go out our way, see a woman over there, be like, hey, damn, I feel like I want to take care of her. And then we'll just go over there and be like, what's up? Try to get your number, do all of these things. We aren't doing that so you can take care of us. Of course, we want you to pour into us the same way we pour into you, but this is like our process when we're in this space going through this. You know what I mean? A lot of men have been getting more. I'm speaking for the righteous men. I don't know what the witchy men are doing. I'm not speaking for them. I hate when people come down and be like, not all men are like that. Yeah, all men ain't on this channel either. Y'all gotta understand that too. We got a lot of righteous, good men over here. You know what I mean? They just don't meet some of the witchy women's standards. And even the righteous one's standards is still, you know, because we all been kind of diluted, we still got certain things that we cling on to that kind of hinder us from being able to grow a little bit more than what we should have. You know what I mean? But I ain't mad at the guys for joking and doing this soft guy air. You know, I'ma just call it Drizzle Drizzle because I don't like the soft guy air. You don't have to be soft to find a woman that's nurturing and that wants to pour into you. The same way, you know, it don't have to be sprinkle to have a man take care of you. But man, you ain't taking care of shit if she ain't on your team. Fuck all that. If she's on your team, you do what you gotta do. If she's not on your team, split the bill, get out the way, do whatever it is you gotta do. Me personally, if I offer somebody to take them out or do something, I'm gonna cover it because that's just me personally. I offered, so I'm assuming that, okay, I got the funds and the finances to cover both of us. That's why I'm gonna do it. It's kind of like if I take my daughter out somewhere, I don't be like, hey, Lexi, hey, let me get that $20 and, you know, that I had gave you for, you know, doing chores or something. I don't give her chore money. You know what I mean? I'm just saying in general, like, I wouldn't do that personally. But a lot of women are, one, in their witchery and sorcery. Besides over here, it's a lot of goddesses over here. I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot of y'all goddesses over here, man. I just be super appreciative of the universe because y'all comments, the things that y'all say and how y'all implement y'all vibes, it just, anytime I get to a hard space, it always reminds me that nah, all of them not like this. It's a whole tribe that's being built right now that's already established more righteous, divine, feminine women. You know what I mean? So y'all just gotta keep doing what y'all doing. All of this information isn't for everybody, and it doesn't always pertain to you. Unless you're a witch, you're gonna feel offended by it. But if you're not a witch, it's not gonna offend you. It's like somebody saying, hey, you know, those size 13s is, I don't give a fuck about those size 13s because I'm a size 10 and a half. I cannot even get nowhere near those 13s. You know what I mean? So that shoe don't fit, so it don't matter to me if it's ugly, if it's fire, you know what I mean? If it fits, if it doesn't fit, it don't make a difference to me. That shoe doesn't fit me, so I won't put it on. Don't put the shoes on if they don't fit, you know what I mean? But we should be having all our men working to be more connected with Source and God. The females working to be more connected with Source and God. Creator, whatever words you need to fill in the blank, because we got all religions and the ones who don't follow any religions over here, because we all fighting together. You know what I mean? That is one thing that I do love about the community. You know, I got Muslims, Christians, Buddhisms, Jewish, you know, my spiritual people who just connected with Source and don't follow no religion. And I don't see like a whole lot of friction down low between, you know, in the comments, because everybody understands and y'all got a lot of love and respect within inside of y'all. You know what I mean? I don't know if other people be mentioning or saying these things, but when I see all the religions coming together in one space, man, that shit just, I be like, that shit warms me up, you know what I mean? I love it. But I ain't want to run it up too long, you know what I mean? The Drizzle Drizzle soft guy era is kind of, some of us have already been living this life, you know. Not saying that we don't provide and we aren't real men and taking care of things, but it's a lot of women that are not nurturers, and if you're engaging with demonic women, you're gonna have to drizzle on their ass a little bit if you are using them for their resources. I know some people just use people for their resources. They be like, yeah, he's a witch, but I need the resources. I'll sprinkle a little bit over here. You know, men be like, yeah, she got some good resources. I'll drizzle over here for a little bit. You know, figure out the seasons and the reasons. You know, and they always usually go hand in hand, the seasons and the reasons. But just be mindful of these things. You know, it started off as a parody, but the spiritual tie and connection in between it's a lot of demonic witches and warlords that do not have to experience any shame, blame, or guilt for spreading these weird narratives about, because it would be no drizzle drizzle if it wasn't sprinkle sprinkle. The sprinkle sprinkle is what pushed the drizzle drizzle into the front of the camera, in front, you know, that shine them big lights on it. So just being mindful of these things. Like, if you are somebody who just have over the top standards, look at your connection with Source, because we see how Source treats us and how we're supposed to be living.